Hello, everyone. Tiffany Higgins here. For those of you that are joining me live on this webinar, hello. I did fix the chat feature beforehand this week. If you've joined me in the previous weeks, you know I always fumble around trying to figure out how to enable the chat feature. So that is fixed. So if you are tuning in, say hi in the chat. Tell me where you're tuning in from. I'd love to know who is joining me today. And today I'm going to focus a lot on talking about our Labor Day sale. So if you have seen some posts about that, I'm going to answer all the questions that you guys might have on our Labor Day sale. And then I see there's some people watching live on Facebook right now too. If you want to click the link and join our Zoom, we would love for you to hop into Zoom and interact with us this way. If you want to stay on Facebook, that is totally fine too. Hi, Micah from Arizona, tuning in on Facebook. And we have Shauna from Minnesota and Candace from Ontario. Awesome. Okay, so if you guys are new to the group, I'd like to know that. Can you guys put in the chat if you're new? How long have you been in the group? Do you know who I am? Do you know anything about this group? Let me know, so I can kind of have an idea of who I'm talking to. Don't want to repeat myself a bunch if you guys already know a little bit about what's going on. And I'd love to know where you're at in the journey of starting your bookkeeping business and being able to work from home. So while you guys are all putting that on here, Shauna says, new here and interested in the Bookkeeper Academy. Awesome. Okay, so don't hesitate I like how you're engaging already, Shauna. It's great. It makes it so much more fun for me. So don't hesitate to ask questions throughout this whole time if you've got any. I'm an open book. I will share anything with you guys. Let's see, Kim on Facebook. Amy from Arkansas. Hello, Amy. Kim says, hi from Michigan. Started the program 2 weeks ago and almost finished up. Awesome. Awesome. Candace says, I know a little as I read about you a year ago, have been taking college courses in bookkeeping and want to start my own business. Awesome. So you're really ready to roll, Candace. Okay, so if you are new to the group, my name is Tiffany Higgins. I'm a CPA. I went out on my own and started my own bookkeeping business after my third child was born. I realized it was the only way that I was ever actually going to have real financial and real time freedom for myself and for my family and get to be the kind of mom that I wanted to be without being completely flat broke. Because I did that once when my older two kids, who are now 16 and 18, I chose to put my career on hold and stay home with them. And we had to survive off of a $30,000 salary for a family of 4. And as you guys can imagine, even back in 2004, 2006, 2010, that was still hard to do. And so we struggled a lot. We had to penny pinch. We had to do without. We were always nervous or stressed about impending, financial problems. But it was really important to me to raise my own kids and to be there. And I didn't want to put them in daycare. I didn't want anybody else to raise them. But that was also very challenging for our marriage. Our marriage did not last. And when I got remarried, we decided to have another child. My husband did not have any children of his own. And so we decided to do that all over again. Well, I had all those same feelings again. So when I had my third child, I was working during tax season when she was an infant, and it was brutal. It was heartbreaking. I think I cried every single day. And I finally just decided, enough is enough. At some point I should feel confident enough to start my own business. And it's if you don't just do things, you're just never going to be confident enough to do it. So that was just kind of like a straw that broke the camel's back. And even though I didn't feel ready, I just quit my job and I was like, forget it. I was working in a CPA firm. I was doing tax work, but I was mostly doing the bookkeeping for the clients in the firm. So I knew exactly how long it took me to do the work. And I knew how much my boss was charging them. So I knew that if I could only find 2 to 3 clients, that I could bring in the difference of what I was making versus what I was paying my new nanny at home for my third baby. And so I was like, this is going to be, really easy. And surprisingly, it was. Like, at first I got started, and of course there's like all those things. You have no idea what you're doing this by yourself, you're scared and you're nervous and everything. So I didn't have any mentors. I didn't have any coaches. I didn't have any coworkers. I didn't have anybody to talk to. I just went out and did it by myself. And even though I have experience in accounting, I have an accounting degree, I worked for the CPA firm, I sat for and passed the CPA exam, I was not prepared for all the things that came my way when I started my business. And had I been able to have a mentor or a coach or someone during that time, not only would it made it a lot easier for me to get to the points that I did, but I would have had more fun doing it. I would have been a lot less overwhelmed. But even with that, even with all the trial and error that I did on my own, within just a couple of months, I was able to find enough clients that covered that difference in my pay, what I was making minus what I was paying out for the nanny. So really, really quickly, like just within a couple weeks, couple months, I was able to get us right back where we were financially. And that was with like no prior knowledge of marketing or anything. And so when I saw that, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, now if I actually put some intention behind this, I will probably be able to really, expedite my income and make even more money. And I, again, knew how quickly I was able to get the work done at home, even being home with a newborn by myself. She was about 6 months old at the time. So I guess not technically newborn anymore, but she was about 6 months old at the time when I was networking and everything. And actually, I'll show you guys a picture of that I posted in one of our groups yesterday of when I first got started with my bookkeeping business. I share my screen. I took my daughter networking with me. So as you can see here, this was a post from September 4th, 2015. And I was living in Missouri at the time. And I went to the National Bank of Kansas City for what was called the First Friday Coffee. So the first Friday of every month, they would have a networking group there. So I wore my shirt, it says Cloud9 Tax and Accounting Services right here. And I took my 6-month-old with me. And she was, I joke that she was my favorite PR rep. Her name is Boston. We call her Bosty Boo Bear. And she went with me while I was networking. So it was just so awesome. It was such a huge blessing, I guess you could say, to be able to do that after, slaving away over tax season, working like 55, 60 hours a week. And that was my boss going easy on me because I was a mom. Working that long and being away from my kids and then feeling just totally and utterly drained when I got home. And I didn't even hardly have a commute. So I can't imagine what a lot of people go through that actually do have to drive and have a commute. For example, like my husband, he was working in downtown Kansas City. And so the commute with traffic could be anywhere from like 45 minutes to 60 minutes a day driving down there. And so sometimes he would have to stay late. So he was pretty much gone for 12 hours a day. He would get up at 6 a.m. and he would hit the door by 6:30. And he was supposed to get off at 5. Rarely was he out the door by 5. And then with the traffic coming home, it was like 6 or 6:30 before he actually got home. So, when you have a little baby like that and you're gone for 12 hours a day, it's like hard for him too. So one of the things that was really awesome about growing my bookkeeping business, I realized like how easy it was to find people that need bookkeeping services and that need help. And I realized really quickly that I was on a path to not only replacing my income, but to be able to also cover all of our household expenses. And so when I realized that that was a possibility in the very near future, I kind of like set my sights on it. I like really put up like a vision board and laid out all my goals and decided I want to go for this. I want to see if I can get these clients and do this and be able to retire my husband. And so I did that. And even like I said, with my 6-month-old at home, and I had 2 older kids, I think they were in, I don't know what grade they were in at that time, probably like 2nd, 3rd grade or something like that. They get home at like 3 o'clock every day. So even with all of them on my own and growing this business, I was able to get enough clients that within 7 months, my husband quit his job and I could cover all of the family finances, which was great. Now when I chose to quit my job, I chose to quit before I had replaced my money. for me, that worked really well because it like really lit a fire under me and it got me excited and it gave me like nothing to fall back on and no excuses. So that worked really well. Then when my husband, when he decided to quit his job, we didn't fully replace his income, but I was able to cover all of the bills. So it was also another like risk, like we got to get you home, but then we do probably need to get like 3 or 4 more clients to really get back to our comfortable spot again. So that was really awesome too, because when he came home, then not only was it easier for me to like work because he was there with the kids to help out, but I also was able to show him how to do a lot of the work too. And so then I could get more clients without, having to work a ton, which was awesome. And as I was building this out, I realized that the business model that I created was going to allow us to make $250,000 a year working 1 full-time work week. So for example, if my husband and I both wanted to work in the business and we both wanted to work 40 hours a week, then we could literally make $500,000 for our family and not have any employees. And we were really on a path to do this. And everything that we had set up in our business led to this. So for example, if you do decide you want to have employees, each employee can work 40 hours a week. You can pay them a salary anywhere from like $50,000 to $75,000, but they are able to handle $250,000 worth of client revenue. So if you calculate that up, you've got $250,000. And let's say on the high end, you're going to pay this person $75,000. That leaves you a profit after paying your employee of $175,000 per year for your bookkeeping business. So even if you have employees, it's still incredibly lucrative business to get into. So as you guys are listening to this, please let me know if you have questions about this. Like, I know a lot of people think this like this is too good to be true, or I don't think this is going to work for me or whatever. So if those things are coming up for you, I want to know, I want to hear it so I can explain to you, how it does work. So please let me know in the comments of the Zoom, or if you're watching on Facebook, let me know. Let's see. D. Boyd said, I am Deanna from Texas and new to the group. Welcome, Deanna. So we're so happy to have you in here. I'm super excited that you hopped on this live. And Kim says, new start of the program. I already read that one. Okay. Emily says, seems too good to be true. Okay, awesome. Emily, tell me which part exactly feels too good to be true to you, because I want to break it down and explain it to you, because it is like really like mathematical. The whole thing is really mathematical. So let me know what part feels that way. Kim says, what size clients were you representing in the beginning? Great question. So when we talk about size of clients, I'm going to talk about it in terms of revenue. So most of my clients were making, I'd say, anywhere from $200,000 to $300,000 a year up to like $800,000 a year. I had a couple of clients that were making over $1 million, but the majority of people were just super small businesses. I believe if you Google this, I've been trying to find an infographic on this lately, and I haven't been able to find it. However, it's out there somewhere, but there's like 33 million businesses that are active in the US right now. And out of those 33 million businesses, 25 million of them are solopreneurs. So they are partly like doing the business on their own. They may have like 1 employee or no employees, and they're making like, small amount, like $200,000, $300,000 a year or less. And that's like 25 million businesses. And all of those businesses are working hard. They're all working full time, and they all have to have bookkeeping. And those small businesses, the bookkeeping is easy to do. The business owners don't want to do it because they don't know anything about bookkeeping. They haven't made it their profession, right? They haven't learned anything. They don't have the resources that we all have when we're working together on their books. And so for them, it's very time consuming. It's a huge project that stresses them out. They don't want to do it. Now, for us as bookkeepers, it's easy. It's a cakewalk. Most of those clients, you can get their books done in 3 hours a month. So I want to say an hour a week, but it's probably less than that. And that's what I have found to be very true for myself, but then I've watched my students repeat this over and over and over again. And keep in mind, guys, as you guys are watching this, we have had thousands of moms go through this that now have successful bookkeeping practices that have replicated exactly what I've done. And they make $100 to $200 an hour doing this stuff. So I can give you guys gobs of screenshots of testimonials too, if you want, but I love these. Let's keep hammering through these questions. So those clients are small. I'd say what I usually charge those clients were anywhere from like $300 to $800 per month, depending on the industry they were in. And if they were super small, like $200,000 in annual revenue, or were they $800,000 in annual revenue. So you will make anywhere from like $300 to $800 a month per client. We always average it out about 500. And of course, like every little bit of detail of this, so don't get overwhelmed by all of this that I'm telling you. All of this is outlined in very easy to understand terms in our course. And then of course, in our academy, we help you with this every day. This is something we help you. And it only takes a couple of clients before you guys master this. What I see time and time again is like, everyone is a little bit nervous to get their first client. And sometimes they fumble through that. We help them in the academy, like do all the work and review their work, make sure it's done great. And so then they have a really great understanding and they're a little less nervous for their second client. And they get their second client and they do that one a lot faster. And then by the third or fourth client, they're like, okay, I got this process down. This is a piece of cake, which is why our support group is called Piece of Cake Support Group. And from there on, then it's just like scaling their business. So is there a learning curve when you first start? Absolutely. Just like when you start any job, you have to train, right? So that's how it is at the beginning. Let's see. Emily says 40 hours equals 250,000 of bookkeeping. Yes. Great question or great point. So that seems like outrageous. Let me see if I can break this down. So it all comes down to two things. If you want to be able to work 40 hours a week and make $250,000 a year as a bookkeeper. Number one, it comes down to following our appropriate quoting protocols. So you have to be okay with quoting the way that we teach you, which is honestly low, industry standard low, which I did that on purpose because I want you guys to have wins. There are bookkeepers out there and there's all sorts of other people out there that say you should charge more, you should charge high ticket, you should charge a minimum of $1,000 a month. There's all sorts of things. So I am very conservative when it comes to the quoting, partly because I feel like a lot of us, especially the people that can really benefit from having a bookkeeping business, are all of us like middle-class moms who have put so much on the back burner to take care of their kids and, kind of almost like have struggled with money their whole life. Maybe you guys grew up poor. I did. I grew up really poor. I struggled my entire adult life because I wanted to be there for my kids. And so then when I went out and I started charging clients, I had a lot of money mindset problems, like what I thought about money. And, you get ingrained in these things like people that have money are greedy or they're bad, or, if you charge too much, that's just wrong. Like there's all these weird misconceptions that people have about money. So we do it on a really conservative basis. But the value that you bring to these business owners, like if you have a business that's making $500,000 a year and you're going to charge them $500 a month to do their bookkeeping, that's like $6,000 for the whole year. They make $500,000. They have to have bookkeeping. And if they don't have bookkeeping, they can't tax plan, which can cost them a fortune. They can't get loans to grow their business, which can cost them a fortune. So having somebody where they pay them $6,000 a year to do their bookkeeping and have monthly financials, that is nothing to them, nothing. So first of all, it's the quoting. Then the second thing is learning how to do the work efficiently so that you can structure it so you can make $100 an hour. And that is the other process that you will learn in the bookkeeping course and that you will get to hone your skills in the academy, is literally learning how to do the work so efficiently that you're going to be making $100 an hour. And that's like the biggest premise of our whole program, is showing you how to appropriately quote and fixed price packages that your clients are going to love. And then number 2 is learning how to do that work efficiently. So, it's just kind of like with anything. I mean, even if you have like, I don't know, like a lawn care person that comes and mows the yard and does the weed eater and stuff like that. If he was mowing the lawn and then he did a patch and then he set it down and then he picked up his weed eater and then he went around and just weed eated that little section. And then he put that down and he went back to the lawnmower and then he mowed another patch and then he got the weed eater out and weed eated that patch. Like that would be a lot less efficient than just taking the lawnmower, mowing all of the lawn, then putting the lawnmower away, then getting the weed eater out and weed eating all of the areas that needed, right? So it's just all about learning how to do the work efficiently. And there is a method to be able to do that with bookkeeping. So that's really what we teach. And you really honestly can make $250,000 working just one full time based on those 2 things. So hopefully that explanation helped. Let's see. Candace says you're a CPA. So yes, I love this question. So my accounting background and my CPA license really did not help me in any way when I started. I felt like as soon as I jumped out there as a business owner, oh my God, I knew nothing. I was like, oh my God, how do I do this? Well, first of all, when I was working at my CPA firm, we didn't use QuickBooks Online. We used QuickBooks Desktop. So when I started out, I wanted a virtual firm. I didn't want to use desktop because I didn't want people to come to my house. So I had to learn how to use QuickBooks Online, and I had to develop this process of efficiency using QuickBooks Online. So I had to learn all of that. And I had no idea how to price my packages. I didn't know how my boss came up with all of these things. I had to figure all of that out. I didn't know the best way to do it. And what I did know is what a financial statement was supposed to look like. But the funny thing is, when you go to school for accounting or when you pass a CPA exam, you are being tested on and you are learning how to do financial statements for publicly traded companies. It's called GAAP accounting. And so everything I learned in school and everything I learned on my CPA test was attributable to those types of businesses, publicly traded companies. And when you do bookkeeping or accounting for a publicly traded company, you are like one of 100 people in the accounting department. So this is totally nothing like doing bookkeeping for a small business. So when I started out, I had to really figure all of that out. So my CPA license and my accounting background, sure, it lent me the basic level of knowledge, but you're going to get that in the bookkeeping course. The basic level of knowledge that you need to do someone's books will be presented to you in the bookkeeping course. And then the academy helps you actually apply everything and supports you as you're getting clients and growing. But I do love that you brought that up, because I am a CPA and I do have an accounting background, and otherwise I would have never gone into this if I didn't, because I didn't have the opportunity to start a business like this. So, but we have, like I said, thousands of moms that have started these businesses, and we have very, very few people that actually join our programs that actually have accounting degrees. Most people are nurses, teachers. We've had a lot of waitress staff in the past, people that, some of my favorite people that have just amazing backgrounds. We've had a police officer before. We had somebody that worked on reality TV production in LA. And the great thing, what I love about her is she came in, and she's a creative mind, right? She does reality TV production, like a production assistant. And she has now grown her bookkeeping business. She had her second child, got to be home with her child, and now she actually coaches for us. So if someone with that type of background can learn the skill, grow a business, and do so well that we ask her to come back and coach, you guys can see that you don't need to be a CPA or an accountant to be able to master this and do it and make a lot of money. So it's just a really great flexible option for anybody, no matter what your background. Of course, some backgrounds do help you But it doesn't matter what your background is, as you can see. Another girl that is in our second tier program, she is learning how to build a 7-figure bookkeeping practice where you staff like 4 people, the $250,000 times 4 people, that's $1 million in revenue. She's learning how to build that. And she's worked with me closely for the last couple of years. She makes about $25,000 a month in her bookkeeping business right now. And previously she was a dolphin trainer. So really anybody can do this. Yes, I'm a CPA. I created this program, but we don't target CPAs. We target just moms in general that need a change, that need to break out and do something different for their families so that they can truly be putting themselves on a path to have financial freedom, to be setting up their kids for their future, but also be able to be with them and be present with them, because there's no point in making a lot of money if you can't ever see your kids and you can't be the kind of mom that you want to be. And of course, that's different for everybody. So it's like, what is important to you? For me, it's like, I want to be able to take them to the park on like a, Tuesday morning before it gets hot, like I like to be able to do that stuff. I also like to have the money to be able to do that as well, because I spend a lot of my time as a mom penny pinching and not having money to buy them things. So now I have the money to be able to do that. And then I also have the ability to be home, teach them how to like earn an allowance, teach them how to earn, and I can work with them on homeschooling and reading and chores. And then they earn this money and I get to see their excitement every time that they earn this money. Then I can take that money, give it to them, and then they can go to the store and buy what they want or save it or whatever we want to do. So I get to hit all of those different dynamics, which is great. So you can have your cake and eat it too. Like literally, that's the whole point of starting this program. So Shauna says, my main question is, where do I see the cost for Bookkeeper Academy and what is included? What type of business do you work with and how do you get over the fear of jumping in? Yes. Okay. So if you want to talk about the different options for you, financing wise, the cost of the program and all the different options, it's kind of different for each person because we go through funding specialists. So the monthly payment is different, but we love to sit and get on a call with you. It's a free call. We're all moms. Nobody's pushy on these calls. We just sit and talk about your goals and help you understand like everything that is involved and what the whole process is going to look like for you through the Academy. And we help you get funding for it. So if you want to book a free call with us, we'd love to chat with you in person about it in a one-on-one setting. And the type of businesses that we work with, typically when people start out, we want them to work with service-based businesses or small businesses like I was discussing earlier. The best ones are like plumbers, roofers, chiropractors, insurance agents, realtors, but you can get like restaurants, salon owners. I mean, just anything, anyone that you see that has a business, they are a potential client for you. And how do you get over the fear of jumping in? I think the biggest thing that what I've learned, and for myself, but also watching thousands of moms do this and other people, is that you don't ever get over the fear. Like I still have fear all the time in this business. Here I am, like growing this coaching company, and I don't have a roadmap like I'm trying to give you guys. I don't have a roadmap for this. So I have a lot of fear. I have a lot of fear when I do anything. It's also part of my personality. Like I've done a lot of personality assessments and I'm motivated by fear of failure, fear of, doing things wrong, fear of messing up, fear of crumbling my finances. Like I'm kind of motivated by that based on my personality profile. So even though like it sucks to have fear, some people just have it, and you don't ever necessarily get over it. Although I actually am going to do an interesting coaching program later on in September to try to get over my fear. I'll let you know how that goes. But what I've done so far in my 40 years of life is just acknowledge that it's there and just do it anyway. And that's what most of my mentors do. Feel the fear and do it anyway is really kind of the mantra that most successful people live by. When you guys see successful people out there, you see people on Instagram or these influencers or all like these rich people, they all are just like us. And I've met a lot of them. I don't know if you guys have followed me for very long, but I've been doing a lot of work at Grant Cardone's headquarters. And I've met with a lot of multi-millionaires and billionaires over the last like 6 months. And every single one of them have fear. They've just learned to do things anyway and to take action, even if they have fear, because really the only way that you can ever fail is if you just don't do anything. You just don't make a decision. You just kind of hide from it, or you give up and you just ignore it. That's really the only failure. And so it's just like reframing that in your mind and just knowing that like that feeling in there is it's just a feeling, and it's not something to really listen to. I've always been the kind of person that has really been really in tune with my feelings. And I've always described myself as an empath. But I think in some instances that has hurt me because I have like taken too much, what's the word I'm looking for? I've read into it too much. Sometimes feelings are just feelings and you can't do anything about them and you can't really label them, and you just feel it and just whatever, move on. And instead of analyzing it so much, I'm an analyzer. So analyzing isn't always a good thing, but that's my mantra, feel the fear and do it anyway. And that's just what we do. And however you like to talk, like my husband and I, we like to talk a lot. So whenever I have fear, him and I just like talk. We talk it out, and then we just take action after that. And that makes me feel better, a little bit better, even if I have fear, is just knowing that he has my back and that we can talk about things like, okay, if I make this decision and it goes wrong, like at least you're going to be here, right? So that's the kind of things that we do. What a great question. Candace said, do you support Canada guidelines or just USA? Yes, we actually support Canada. We have a Canada coach on call that we can pull in if for any of our students are in Canada and or get Canadian clients. So there's just a few nuances with Canada. Obviously, there's sales tax in all the little provinces that you have to do in addition to bookkeeping. Pricing is all the same. Most of the work's the same. You'll set up a Canada version of QuickBooks Online Accountant instead of a US one, or you'll have both if you take on Canada clients. And then I think Canada mostly does everything in accrual. So that's just a slightly different thing that you have to learn. But again, we have a Canadian coach on call. So those calls are picking back up. We bring the Canada coach in when we have students that are in Canada or they have Canadian clients, and then she kind of dies down because she has her own Canadian practice. And so she picks back up whenever we have clients in Canada. So great question. And let me see, we got quite a few questions on the live here. So I'm going to scoot over that too. Emily says, I'm in Alabama. Seems like we as a state don't pay equal to the remainder of the country for services. Yeah, this is a common misconception that people have all the time. It doesn't matter where you live. You can charge the same all over the country. And with it being virtual, it really does not matter. I had clients in San Diego. I had clients all over the Midwest. I had a client in New York. I never shifted or adjusted my pricing based on where someone lived ever. So you don't have to worry about that. And if you go around and you want to get a lot of clients in person, still, like I mentioned earlier in the slide, the pricing that I show you guys is on the low end. It's super conservative. You have so much room to price higher. So when you start out like this, and this is what I see happen a lot with the students, they start out with this base pricing and then they're like, wow, that was kind of a lot of work. I'm going to raise my price. And so they have no problem in the future clients raising their prices because they understand the value, the work involved, and the value that you're bringing to the business owner. And as you take on more clients, it's easier for you to understand that, see it for yourself, and then explain it to your clients. So, and then you make more than $100 an hour, which is great. But even on the super conservative pricing model that I have, you still make $100 an hour. And stay tuned and keep watching, because here shortly, I'm going to show you guys how to get our quoting tool for 50% off. Typically, we don't sell this anymore. We only offer it for our academy level students, but it is on sale today and tomorrow for the Labor Day sale. So I'll get you that information and that link here shortly. Emily says, I really want to know what the syllabus of the Academy is. If the Academy is what one needs to jump all in. It's either work from home for myself or work away family and miss everything for pennies. Yeah, exactly. So Emily, a great thing for you, and I'm going to put this in the comments too, is to book a strategy session, and we can really go into detail on everything and answer all of your specific questions that you guys have in a one-on-one format. Love to do that. But really the syllabus of the Academy is what you're getting is you're going to get walk through the entire bookkeeping course. You'll have access to that. You'll be able to get help setting up your business. We design your website. We design your logo. And then we have calls. We have about 20 hours a week or more of Zoom calls that you can attend where you can actually talk live with a person, face-to-face, one-on-one. We have private breakout rooms that you can go when you get your first client. You can get in a private breakout room and we will literally walk you through everything. So if you're nervous and you're shy, you don't want to ask, these questions in a group Zoom format for your first client, you can get in a private one-on-one room with our coaches. We show you exactly how to do everything. And then anytime you ever need a private room where you need to screen share and say like, oh, I have this client, I don't know how to do this thing. Could you guys show me? You request a private breakout room and then you get on that with our coach and they walk you through everything. And these are 30-minute intervals where you can get on and do this, and you can book as many as you want for the whole time that you're in the Academy. So it's really, really awesome to help you guys master the skill and learn it. We have a quoting call where you can learn all about how to quote your clients. And Vanessa's the one that leads the quoting call. Vanessa's awesome. She is one of the students that started about 3 years ago. She was actually going to school for accounting. I think she was in like her first year of accounting, but hadn't learned anything yet, didn't have any experience. She had just had her first baby. She started her bookkeeping business, and now she is not only a bookkeeping expert, but she's learned how to do taxes now, and she's doing taxes. She's one of our main coaches in the Academy, and she recently secured a client that paid her $75,000. One client. This client was behind on his books for like 6 or 7 years. And so she's doing his books and his taxes. She was able to charge $75,000 for it. And she teaches you exactly how to quote your clients in the Academy. And she learned how to quote from me and then grew her skills on that. And then now she coaches. So you're going to have all these experts in there that really help you with all of these different things so that you can have an amazing business and, do all of this stuff without any guesswork, without any questions. So that's the Academy. We also teach you guys how to do marketing and sales. We review your client work if you want. We review your sales calls if you want. I mean, it's literally like everything you could ever possibly want to help wise to grow your business. It's all in there. And most people pay if you were going to go get like a business in a box, like you want to start a franchise or something like that, most of those companies charge like $40,000 for you to do a franchise. And then you have to give them like 10% of your sales for all of eternity. And this is just like a fraction of that investment. And this is your business. We don't collect any money on any of the clients that you bring in. It's all your money. So it's really, really awesome. Does the Academy actually teach bookkeeping or how to start a business? Yes, I answered that one, Emily. It covers everything. So over the years, the Academy benefits have morphed and have grown because we are always trying to find out, what do the students in the Academy need the most? Where are they struggling the most? How can we make their success easier? So we have constantly added new things over the years, and we're still doing that. We have a back to school promo that we're going to be doing where we're going to be releasing some new features that are coming out in the Academy as well, because we've got tons of plans to make it even easier for you guys all the time. Let's see. Miranda says, hi. So a bit off topic. I've been trying to figure out which companies we can partner with to offer tax services and legal services to our clients, as in the template for the one program to rule them all. Haven't been able to get a clear answer in the Facebook group. Is the info for the companies that you partner with in a course somewhere? Great question. So in the bookkeeping course, we do recommend partnering with a company called Prime Corporate Services. This company will actually, it's one of our partners. They will actually help you set up your LLC for your business if you need them to, and they can actually do your taxes if you need a tax person for yourself. But then you can also partner with them so that if any of your clients need to get their business LLC set up, or your clients need tax work, you can also partner with them. They have a really great affiliate referral arrangement. So this is one way you guys can make money without actually having to even do any work. So it's another like stream of revenue. But the other thing to do with tax people is just going out in your local area or online in Facebook groups and find some tax people that you really like, that you can work with, because a lot of their students realize once they get a partnership with a tax person who doesn't necessarily have time or like to do bookkeeping, they will send you referrals all the time, and you'll just get new clients randomly all the time when you partner with a tax person, which is really great. A lot of that is in our marketing and mindset module and our how to set up your bookkeeping business for success course. And all of that is bundled into the bookkeeping course. So that course is on sale for 50% off today and tomorrow. So I will get you those links here at the end of this. Emily said, did your CPA credentials give your clients a confidence in your ability that we might not have as a non-CPA? No, not really. I think there are certain clients out there that are looking for CPAs, but not very many. Not very many really even care about that. And it's all about how you present it. So if this was an issue that you had to be a CPA, none of my students would be successful. And again, we have thousands of students that have really successful businesses where they're making anywhere from $50,000 a year working 10 hours a week, all the way up to, I know Anne is making over 300,000. Tiffany Taylor in our group, she's going to be on track for a $500,000 business by the end of this year. So now Tiffany does have a CPA license. So I guess that's a bad example. Just full disclosure. I'm like 100% transparent and honest with you guys. But most people in the academy do not have CPA licenses. And there's a lot of successful accountants and bookkeepers out there that are not CPAs. Honestly, I actually hated telling people that I was a CPA because the complex clients always sought me out, and I didn't want the complex clients. And that brings me to the next point that I would love to make, is that I love this business model for moms because this is so simple. It keeps it simple. The clients that you're going to get, for the most part, are going to be very straightforward, very simple. And we need that as moms. We need that. If you have even one kid, your life is complex already, right? There's a lot to think about. And now if you add multiple kids on top of that, homeschooling, special needs, anything, single parenting, all of that stuff, that is complex. Our lives become exponentially more complex as we have kids. And what I love about this business is that we can keep it simple. You can just have these normal, simple clients, do the work, give them their financials at the end of the month, rinse and repeat. It's not stressful, which is great. So having my CPA license, stressful people sought me out. So you're actually ahead up by not having one. You're going to have awesome, normal people, normal clients. Do it scared. Let's see. Emily says, what's the very first step to getting started? Which course? Okay, I'll go over that in 1 second. Kim says the difference between the academy and the course. So again, I'll go over this too here right now. I'll pull up these links. The course is the full roadmap of learning how to get started with your business and understanding how to do bookkeeping work for your clients, what they expect, what you need to do to be a great bookkeeper. There is no support with the bookkeeping course. So if you have questions, you have to Google. You have to figure it out yourself. You have to Google and research and blah, blah, which it can be done. It takes a long time. The academy supports you in everything that you're learning in the bookkeeping course. There is an element of live interactive support with every single step. Not only does that help you understand each concept and apply it quicker and better, but it's going to get you to success, making money and having profit a lot faster. So that's the difference between the bookkeeping course and the academy. So Now, with that being said, let me share my screen so I can show you guys our sales here. I just got some links on here, but I'll share the screen with you. So for Labor Day, we are doing some sales. We have our bookkeeping course. This link is going to be for US, if you're in the US and Canada. If you are based out of the UK, there are a few differences in how you're going to do bookkeeping, a few different requirements like a money laundering course. And obviously you guys don't do LLCs in the UK, you do something else. So this has been modified specifically for the UK. So I will drop these in here. If you want the bookkeeping course, this is 50% off. This one is the most robust. Oh, I put something in there earlier, the strategy session, and it didn't copy. I'm sorry about that. It went somewhere else. Let me get that again. Okay. So I'm going to drop those links in there. And where did my screen go? Yes, this one I wanted. Okay. So I'm going to put this in here for you guys on the Facebook Live as well. Those are the links to grab the bookkeeping course for 50% off, whether you're in the US and Canada versus the UK. And then I need to also drop the book a call link in the chat. I did not do that. I dropped it in there and it only went to hosts and panelists and not to everyone. So there is a link. So everyone in the chat, you guys can see those links, right? Drop a yes in there if you can see those. So this is what's going to be 50% off. Now, the next two courses, the Quoting Your Clients with Ease and the Payroll Basics for Bookkeepers, these programs are typically only for students that are in the academy. We don't usually sell these like on our website as a standalone, but we like to do it sometimes for holidays. So for Labor Day sale, you can get the Quoting Your Clients with Ease and the Payroll Basics for Bookkeepers course. And the Quoting Your Clients with Ease program, it's a course that shows you how to set up a quoting tool, a quoting calculator. And it's awesome. Everybody loves this. Everyone in the academy loves this. They set it up and all you have to do is answer questions, 3 different questions when you get a new client, and it spits out a quote for you. So you don't even have to think about it. You can set it up so that way when you're talking to someone on the phone, you can get this information from them. You can punch it in and you can figure out exactly how much their monthly rate should be. So it makes it real easy for you. And then this Payroll Basics, a lot of times when you do bookkeeping, your clients will ask you to help with sales tax and they'll help you to help them with payroll. And you can make good money offering payroll services and then using Gusto as a third party to actually process it all. But you can make some passive income from offering payroll services this way. So this course explains all the things that you need to know about payroll to be able to marry that into your bookkeeping services. I use this a lot too, to get people on a bundled package. So we talk about that in the course and the academy too. When you bundle services like bookkeeping and payroll together, then you can get people to like really say yes, like, oh my gosh, you can do both of those for like $400 a month. That's amazing. Whereas like a lot of times they actually are paying ADP and Paychecks and all these big payroll companies $300 or $400 a month just for payroll. So I love to use that. So you can get the Quoting Your Clients and Payroll Basics one for 50% off as well. And again, those are usually not even available at all. So I'm going to put these in here. Thank you, Candace, for saying yes. The payroll course is based on US, but it's mostly based around bookkeeping. So there's still going to be a lot of stuff in there that will be very helpful, even if you are in Canada or the UK. And if you do enroll in that and still have further questions and you don't feel like it covered the Canadian stuff, just let us know. But it should cover everything, all the basics that you need to know, whether you're in Canada, UK, or the US. And then this next one here, this is called the One Program to Rule Them All. And this one is, so what we noticed is our students were really struggling with getting started and with doing marketing and stuff like that, because they really wanted to have a website. And then the other thing they were struggling with was how to like efficiently onboard new clients. So when they get a new client, they were stumbling through like, oh my gosh, what all do I need from them? How do I get started? What about the engagement letter? Blah, blah, blah. So I created the one program to rule them all, which this program, this course right here, will walk you through how to set up your website using a program called ClickFunnels. And then it shows you how to set up a membership site, which is what we use as an automated onboarding system. So when your clients sign up for your services, you can give them access to this automated, it's like a little mini course telling them what they need to get together for you, how to get that information over to you, and then you'll have everything you need automated in order to get started on their bookkeeping. So it's really cool. This is like 70% off if you guys want this. It shows you how to get that all set up. The one thing to note here is if you are going to join the Academy, we actually designed this for you as part of your enrollment. So this course will walk you through showing you how to set up your website and how to design it all so it looks awesome and beautiful. But if you enroll in the Academy, we'll do this for you. So if you guys purchase any of the Labor Day sales that we have going on right now, and then decide to join the Academy, within the next like 14 days, we'll credit all of these purchases back as long as it's within like the next 14 days. So if you want to get started and then later in like a week, you decide I'm going to join the Academy, don't worry, you won't be double paying. And then the last thing that's really, really awesome is this New Year, New You guided sessions. So back in January, we did a mini version of the Academy where we helped students get through the entire bookkeeping course and coached them along the way on all of the steps. And we recorded it. So there's extra guided sessions on everything that you need to know and all the questions that students had as they were going through the bookkeeping course. So you can grab these recorded sessions for 70% off as well. And this is a lot of really great coaching, a lot of great information and guidance for you guys there too, especially for those of you that aren't joining the Academy right away. This is a great place to get started to help you actually like get through the entire bookkeeping course. So with all of that being said, what questions can I answer for you guys? We have a few more minutes. Emily says she has a call scheduled for tomorrow. Who else booked calls? I know our calendars are really filling up, so I'm going to make sure that we actually have spots on there while I'm at it. Who else booked calls? Anybody? Yeah, it looks like we've got some open slots. So we even have, I think this Saturday is already filled up, but we have Saturday slots on the 17th that are filled up, or that are open. But we've got lots of slots available for everybody. Looks like most of them are through the daytime right now. Sometimes we have evening slots, but so yeah. What else can I answer for you guys? So the program costs, like I said, we do funding, so it's kind of different depending on each person and what funding terms that they get and how it breaks out for payments. So we like to go over all of that with you so that we really understand what situation that you're in and really be able to explain the return on investment and really let you kind of understand what that investment is and how you can turn that investment into something else. So really give you guys a really good personalized presentation on what that looks like. So we can discuss all of that with you, Candace, on the call as well. Do I have to wait until tomorrow to get started? No, you can get started, Emily, if you are enrolling in one of these courses, or if you want to hop on a call with us, you can do that, but you can definitely get started on any of the coursework. Like I said, if you guys purchase any of this and then you decide within 14 days to upgrade into the Academy, we will credit your purchases to that. So the call is usually, we have the call scheduled for like 45 minutes. So it is usually about that long, but it depends on how many questions that you have. And if If you have a spouse that's going to want to hear this, it's always great to have your spouse available so that they can hear and they can ask questions also if they're going to be part of the, decision-making process on if this is something that your family's going to want to do. Or you can always schedule a second call as well with your spouse too. So there's the link, Candace, to book or Shauna, to book a strategy session right there. You are very welcome. You're very welcome. I don't know what to purchase to get it all. If you want to get all of it, Emily, I would purchase the bookkeeping course. And let's see, each one of these things are separate. So, I mean, if you want everything, you want to purchase everything on that list, except for you just don't want to purchase both bookkeeping courses. So you either want to get the US Canada one or the UK one, but not both. But then everything else is a separate standalone program so that you can get all of those individually. Great question. All right, guys. Well, I've got to run. I've got another meeting. But I'm here every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central Time. So if you guys want to join me next week, I will be here. I'll be excited to talk more in depth about the whole process and bookkeeping and answer any questions. So throughout the week, if you guys think of questions, jot them down and come back here. And I'd love to chat with you. You're welcome, Candace. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you guys for being so interactive and asking so many questions. Let's see, I'll do one more question. Wendy says, the course, like the bookkeeping course, are they ever updated with new and current info? And if so, and we've already purchased to have access to any updates. Yeah, we've updated the course in the past many times. And usually when we do that, if there's any big changes, everyone that has access to the course gets those changes. Now, when we do new things, we have new programs and totally new things. It's not usually added into that. But when you're in the academy, you get access to everything. Every single thing that we come out with to help you grow a bookkeeping business where you're making, six figures or more. It's all in the academy. So you will get access to that. And of course, I didn't mention this, but we do have a second level program where we show you guys how to take what you've learned and then build a team. If you want to grow your business to where you're making 7 figures a year and you have like 4 people working under you, that's what our next level program is for. It totally depends on your dreams and desires and where your family's at right now, if that's what you want to do. So then you can hop into there. The academy is 12 months long. But if you do want to stay in there, we have about 50% of our people do want to stay in there for past that. We do have a monthly membership model that we allow Academy alumni students to be in, and you get an extra coaching call. We're rolling that out, the extra coaching call this month. So it can be never ending if you want to stay in there. I mean, it's always so great to get support. And like I said, with all the changes and all the updates that we always make, there's always value for you in there. Great question. I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys today. I hope you all had a wonderful Labor Day weekend, and I hope you guys all get to take advantage of this awesome Labor Day sale. It ends tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. and I will see you guys next week. Have a good day.